Hey boys and girls, it's Miss Royals. I've really been missing you guys and not being able to read stories like I usually do, but this week not only am I going to read you a story, but then we're going to do a direct drawing together. So I'm really excited. You know how I like to read to you guys. This book is called The Legend of Spookley, the Square Pumpkin. Square Pumpkin. This should be interesting. Let's see what happens. One day, in the pumpkin patch, the strangest little pumpkin hatched. Spookley wasn't like his friends, where they had curves, he had ends. Spookley was different. He was odd. He was rare. Spookley the pumpkin wasn't round. He was square. While the round pumpkins had fun rolling along, poor Spookley sat there, shaped all wrong. He tried and he tried with all of his might, but he couldn't budge. He just sat tight. The other pumpkins teased him because he was square. Spookley wished he was round and could roll everywhere. That is, until one night when they all discovered it's fine to be round when the weather is fair, but there are times it's better to be a square. You guys know this is a rhyming book, right? Okay, just letting you know it's a rhyming book. Halloween was just a day away when a mighty storm blew across the bay. It tossed the round pumpkins to and fro. It snapped their vines, then off they go, bouncing left, slamming right, banging, bashing. What a sight! Spookley sat there filled with fright, but glad to be square that night. Suddenly the fence gave way. 3 pumpkins rolled out into the bay. Spookley knew what must be done. It was up to him. He was the one. He teetered, he tottered, he tipped, he tried, and finally he flipped. He was on his side. Again, he tipped. Again, he flopped. Again, he flipped. And then he stopped right in the gap where the fence had snapped. He blocked the way. The hole was capped. All the pumpkins shouted, "Hooray!" Spookley the square pumpkin had saved the day. Then a pumpkin hit him with a whack. He thought his shell would start to crack. Then another one hit him with a thump, and another one with a smack. Then one by one, a ton of pumpkins piled on the stack with a bang and a bash and a crunch and a crash, and then it went all black. If you look real close, you can see Spookley is way down here in the corner, and all those pumpkins are piled on top of him. At dawn, when the storm had stopped, the farmer came out and he checked his crop. He picked up his pumpkins one by one and he laid them out in the warm, dry sun. And when the last one was moved away, the farmer could see what had saved the day. An old, odd-shaped pumpkin, short and dense, was wedged against the broken fence. Its shell was bruised, its stem was too, but there was brave little Spookley sitting straight, strong, and true. Right then and there, the farmer, he knew all of the seeds he had ever sown. Spookley's were the most special that he had ever grown. And the next year, when it was time to sow, he sowed those seeds in every row. He watered and weeded, and he watched them grow. And oh, that morning, about mid-June, when the pumpkin patch began to bloom, there were tiny pumpkins everywhere. Hundreds and hundreds, and most of them square, but some were cubes, some were rectangles, some were flat, and others were triangular. There was a bed of bright ones and red ones and 2 rows of blue ones. There were polka dot pumpkins and rainbow ones too. There were thousands of colors and hundreds of shapes. Oh, what a garden variety makes. Now, every year on Halloween, Spookley's patch is quite a scene. People come from far and near to see what wonders grew that year. They stop, they gawk, they gaze, they stare. Then they pick a pumpkin that's round, triangular, or perfectly, yeah, you guessed it, square. Now, you know the story of how Spookley grew. Maybe someday, if you tell someone too, they'll go tell someone who'll tell another, and maybe one day we'll all discover you can't judge a book or a pumpkin by its cover. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this story. The next time you see me with my glasses falling off my head, we'll be doing a direct drawing. And guess what we're going to draw? We're going to draw a square pumpkin. Later, guys.